The second coming of Christ is a central tenet in Christian eschatology, referring to the anticipated return of Jesus Christ to earth. This event is often associated with the fulfillment of biblical prophecies and the establishment of God's kingdom. Various scriptures across both the Old and New Testaments provide insights into this significant event. While the New Testament provides the most direct references to the second coming, the Old Testament contains several prophecies that Christians interpret as foreshadowing this event. Daniel 7:13-14. Daniel speaks of one like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven, receiving authority and glory from God. This passage is often seen as a prophetic reference to Christ's return. Zechariah 14:4. This verse describes the Lord standing on the Mount of Olives, which is significant as it is believed to be the location of Christ's return. The New Testament provides a more detailed account of the second coming, with various authors discussing its implications and signs. Matthew 24:32-31. In the Olivet Discourse, Jesus describes his return as a visible event where the Son of Man will come on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He emphasizes that his coming will be unmistakable. Acts 1:10-11. After his ascension, angels tell the disciples that Jesus will return in the same way they saw him go into heaven, reinforcing the promise of his return. Revelation 1:7. This verse states, "Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him." This highlights the universal nature of Christ's return. There are signs of the second coming. The scriptures outline various signs that are believed to precede the second coming. These signs are often interpreted in different ways among Christian denominations. There will be natural disasters and turmoil. Matthew 24:6-8. Jesus mentions wars, famines, and earthquakes as signs of the end times, describing them as the beginning of birth pains. Also mentioned it is moral decline. Timothy 3:1-5. Paul warns of a time when people will be lovers of themselves, money, and pleasure, indicating a moral decline that will characterize the last days. Last, the rise of false prophets. Matthew 24:24. Jesus cautions that false messiahs and prophets will arise, performing great signs and wonders to deceive many. The second coming is not merely an event, but carries profound significance for believers. The return of Christ is seen as the culmination of God's redemptive plan, fulfilling the promises made throughout Scripture regarding salvation and restoration. There will be a final judgment. Matthew 25:31-46. Jesus describes the final judgment, where he will separate the righteous from the unrighteous, emphasizing accountability for one's actions. This leads to the establishment of God's kingdom. Revelation 21:1-4. The vision of a new heaven and a new earth signifies the establishment of God's eternal kingdom, where there will be no more suffering or death. The second coming of Christ is a profound and multifaceted doctrine within Christianity, rooted in Scripture and rich with implications for believers. It serves as a reminder of hope, accountability, and the ultimate fulfillment of God's promises. As Christians await this event, they are encouraged to live in faith, embodying the teachings of Christ and sharing the message of salvation with others.